and welcome to the first video on my channel. I've been wanting to make this video for a while because last year I went to my very first book convention, and being the planner that I am and having a little bit of anxiety going into something that I knew nothing about, I didn't know what to expect, so I got onto YouTube and tried to find videos that would tell me what to bring or let me know different things about book conventions, and I found nothing. All I could find were book hauls, which are great, but not helpful in my case. So I decided to make a video that hopefully will be helpful for other people who maybe have gone to a bunch before, or if you were like me and you were brand new to book conventions and you just wanted to know, what the heck do I bring? This is why I'm making this video. So I hope it helps. I'm by no means an expert. I'm getting ready to go to my second only book convention, Villains and Vixens, in September, and I'm super excited for it, but it also just brought back this video idea into my head because so many people on the Facebook group there have asked questions because a lot of them are new as well. So here we go. First, I would say that Post-it notes are going to be your best friend. I use them in books. I use them to label everything. It helps keep things organized. I like using it for my book plates that I make. So then that way, after I have it signed, I just write the name of the author on there so that I can keep it organized and not have to post later in the Facebook group for whatever convention it is. Please help, whose signature is this? This is a good way to help keep that organized because you will get a lot and you don't want to forget, especially ones that are your favorites. So Post-it notes are going to be your best friend. Permanent markers are also super helpful for writing that. I prefer clickable ones. So I got these on Amazon. There's Amazon Basics. I'll have a link in the description below for them. But whether you just do a black or you want to have metallic or theme, like color theme your each book, you're gonna want some permanent markers. I just like to have them hang off of my lanyard so it's easy to get to and I don't have to worry about the cap, because knowing me, I would probably drop it, and so nobody wants that. Next, I would say you're gonna end up with a lot of freebies. A lot of the tables for authors and vendors will have stickers or bookmarks or just different little things that you're gonna wanna keep track of. You can do the same thing with the Post-it note so that you know which table you got it from, but you're also gonna wanna have a place to put them. And I recommend something like this. You can get these at like Target or Walmart, and it's just a zipper container, but it's a little bit of like a hard case, so then that way you can protect the pretty artwork and different stickers that you get. So something like this. That way when you're flying home, you don't have to worry about all of your new pretties getting bent up or ruined as they are being transported home, because we know that airlines don't care about our books as much as we do. That said, I would also recommend gallon-sized baggies. Costco has extra large baggies, which is helpful for if you have a huge book like this beauty right here. It might not fit in a normal size. So I would recommend the Costco ones just in case you need it, because I did have some books last year that I had to double up with the baggies because I couldn't fit one book into one baggie. So these ones are extra helpful. I would also strongly recommend, whether you think you're gonna need it or not, a personal fan. I was so hot. It gets really hot in those rooms because there's so many people and you're moving around. And if you're like me, I have perimenopause, and so everything is just hot all by itself anyways. So having a personal fan will at least make you more comfortable and not want to ram people with your cart because you're so hot. I would also suggest a refillable water bottle. I like the ones with the handles but that's just my own personal preference. And then I would say snacks, gum, mints, Jolly Ranchers, something for your throat because you're gonna be talking a lot. The air gets really dry, so just all those things, like a Snicker. So something just to keep you happy while you're waiting in line, because there will be a lot of lines. I would also suggest a portable charger. I like the ones that have the cables built in. I think that they're super handy because that's just the way I like it, because then I don't have to worry about carrying an extra cord around. But then you could also bring the kind that attaches to the back of your phone. Those are super handy. Or if you want to be able to help charge all the phones for all the people around you, then a big bad boy like this would be super helpful. I just like to go based off of weight as well, just because I don't want to have to carry something super heavy around, because you're already going to be lugging other stuff. So speaking of lugging stuff, you're also going to want a book cart. I strongly suggest one, especially one with 4 wheels. I think that it makes it easier. There are some that have wheels that help you go up and down stairs. Both of the events that I have been to or am going to have been at the Gaylord hotel, and we didn't have any stairs, so I didn't have to worry about that. But having 4 wheels makes it a lot easier to pull everything around. There's debate whether you want a lid or not have a lid. I am leaving my lid home for this one because I just spent more time taking the lid off, and so it was just cumbersome and did not make for easy getting in and out of your book cart. And then on top of that, I would also suggest a water bottle holder. There are a ton that will just slide right onto the handle, and then that way you can be hands-free but still have your drink available if you want it. So I would suggest something like that. I would also suggest these 2x4 matte labels. They are my favorite because they're clear, so then when you put them in the book, after they've been signed, then you just see the signature. And I've made my own book plates. This one's for my friend because she likes skeletons. But I just made mine on Canva. It was super easy, and then that way you have as many as you want, but then they look nice, they'll look nice in your book, and then you'll be happy that you had it. I would also suggest a tote bag, something like this. Also to hold the freebies and different items that you'll have that are just going to be loose. That way you can keep your book cart just for books as you pull them in and out. I think that that's super helpful. So I would suggest that as well. I didn't do it last year, and I wish that I had, so I will be bringing mine this year. Also a note card. We decided last year, my friend and I wanted to write a couple of notes to go with the bracelets that we had made for authors, and we didn't bring any, and it was really hard to try to find some. So then we were having to Uber around all over the place to try to find some note cards. So if you just bring some, then you already have them and you're ready, which is nice, and I think that authors would appreciate. Just little notes telling them why we love them so much and why we think their books are amazing. Some helpful tips that I think would make your life a little bit easier is 1, line up for everything early. I would say especially if you're going to a Bookish Box event, line up super early, because in my experience so far, if you are not in the very, very front of the line, you're not going to make it in. I waited for 2 hours and never made it into the room. So I should have gotten there a lot earlier than I did. But it's okay to line up early. Most conventions will tell you the earliest that you can line up. And I think the average seems to be an hour before each event. And so I strongly suggest doing that. And then just bring your AirPods or your Kindle or whatever, so that you can just hang out in line and kind of recharge before all of the chaos comes back into full effect when you're allowed to go into the things. And a lot of panels are first come, first serve. So you want to make sure that you're in line for the panels that you want to go to, because if you don't, then there's a high chance that you won't make it into the one that you're really wanting, and that would be really sad. I would say bring trades. Don't overthink them. I've seen so many posts in Facebook groups where people are freaking out, like, what do I bring for trades? Anything you want. It can be store-bought, like stickers, or bookmarks, or you could hand make stuff. People are super creative, and so if creativity is not your thing, buy something. It's just a fun way to break the ice with other people, because a lot of book people are introverts, and so this helps break the ice a little bit, get people out of their comfort zone, and then you get to see all of the awesome things that people make. I make these bracelets, and then this year I added some jewelry, some necklaces, some for authors and some for trade, and I have so much fun making them, but I really enjoy giving them out, and I don't mind giving them out to people who don't have anything to trade, because I know that's not for everybody. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub, all of those are going to be your best friend. At a lot of these events, there's nothing super close by for food, or if there is, it's expensive, or it might take a lot of time and you only have so long for your lunch break. So I would suggest ordering food from there. Last year at a Polycon, my friend and I were ready for lunch and we were tired, and so while we were waiting in line, we just ordered our food, and it was ready and delivered to us right at the time that lunch hit, so we didn't have to wait for it, and had the full time to be able to go back to our hotel room and just relax and recharge before heading back into the next room for signings. And then I would also check to see if you have any free trials for any of those companies. I have some discount thing with my Apple card, so then I activated that so that way I can use it while I'm in Texas. And then I had a free trial last year that saved us a bunch of money on extra fees and stuff like that, which was super helpful, because then you can buy more books, and who doesn't want that? I would suggest joining a Facebook group for your favorite authors. Sometimes they plan events outside of the actual book convention schedule, which is really cool. Last year, Sharissa Weeks had a meetup with her Facebook group at a bar in the hotel, and it was so fun. We just got to hang out with her for a couple of hours and chat with her, but also meet other people who love her just as much as we do, and that was really special. I don't know how common that is, but it also just doesn't hurt, because then a lot of the authors are super active on their Facebook pages, and so then you can just find out more information about your favorite books, which is always fun. If you're coming from overseas, don't forget your adapters for your plugs, and vice versa. If you're going to like Rare in London or whatever, make sure that you bring the correct adapters, because no one wants to have a dead phone. A lot of these places are cashless. I know the Gaylord is a cashless hotel. I still brought cash for the event itself, just in case the internet wasn't working, or there's so many people there on the same Wi-Fi that it could get bogged down. So just having a little bit of cash on hand, so that way if something like that happens, you're still able to make the purchase that you were wanting. But Apple Cash, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all of those are usually accepted at the different vendor and author tables. So using those or a credit card are probably the best, rather than debit, just due to fraud, like trying to protect yourself. If you pre-order too many items, be aware that you might not have the opportunity to pick everything up. A Polycon is a one-day signing if you have one of the lower tiers, and so it's really important that you manage your pre-orders, and just know that you might be rushing from place to place, trying to pick all of those up. Villains and Vixens is a 2-day signing, which takes some of the pressure off for that, which is really nice. So Not saying don't pre-order, just make sure you're aware that you do have to pick them up while you're at the event, and a lot of authors won't mail them after the fact. The biggest thing is organization is key. If you love making spreadsheets, then these events are for you. I have a spreadsheet that I have marked authors as high, medium, low, so that way I know my preference. It has a list of all of my pre-orders. It has a list of books by specific authors, if there's special editions, stuff like that, so that way I can track it all. And then on top of that, making use of the map room map like this. I have color coordinated it and marked my authors and vendors as ticketed, pre-orders, high, medium, low, so that way I know which order I want to go to each of the places. Having a plan A, B, and C is awesome, and I suggest you do that, and then just know that it'll probably be something that you don't expect that comes up, and all of your plans will just go right out the window, and that's okay because you had a plan, so you were at least able to scramble a little bit. Marking authors that are ticketed, I think, is important. The ticketing is done differently at different conventions. For Villains and Vixens, it's a virtual queue, and then for a Polycon, it was wristbands with numbers that they then call out. So just making sure you pay attention to how each venue and each event runs their ticketed authors is really important, so that way you don't miss out on someone that you really want to see. Let's see. Oh, using Post-it notes on your books. So I like marking mine. First, I would say leave the dust jackets at home because you don't want them to get damaged, because I don't think even a gallon baggie will save your beautiful dust jackets. But I like having them sticking out just a little bit, and I'll write LJ Andrews, so that way I know the author. Because of the way I stick them into my book cart, I can just look at them without having to pull all the books out. And a lot of conventions have a limit of 3 items, and then it varies on authors whether or not they want to have more, if they're willing to sign more than the 3 item max that the venue sets. So then I would write 1 of 3 if I have 3 items, maybe a book and 2 book plates, or all books. So then that way I know how many items I need to grab to make it quick and easy and seamless. And then I write my name, so that way the author doesn't have to try to listen to how I'm saying my name or spelling my name or anything like that, because it's so noisy. It just makes it easy. And then I like to have it on a page that I think that would be good for signing, just to make it easy on everybody and take up less time. Some authors, like Rebecca Yaros, like to have a certain page signed, and her people are really good at getting all of that set up. But just know that you can pick a spot where you would like to have it signed, but some authors do have a preferred area that they like to sign, so you may or may not get it signed in that spot. But having the books labeled with Post-it notes saves you a lot of time. I think it saves the author a lot of time, and then make sure that your name is spelled correctly, just in case they accidentally hear you wrong. We don't want your book to be personalized and not spelled correctly, because that's not fun. Let's see. And then I would recommend keeping all of your receipts and email confirmations for all of your pre-orders in a separate folder in your email, but also printing them out, so then that way if there's a mix-up or something like that, it's easy for you to show your proof of purchase when you're going to those authors and vendors. And sometimes internet's not working, and so just having that is peace of mind for you, and then easy on them to try to find your order. And then also printing spreadsheets and maps and stuff like that, so that way you have something physical that you can hold. And then keeping a checklist on your phone or on a piece of paper of your pre-orders, and then marking them off as you get them, just so that you know you picked up all of them, so you're not leaving basically money on a table. I think is really helpful, and again, just gives you peace of mind. And then I would also suggest that if you're wanting to watch a show or a movie at the end of the night, the TVs at the Gaylord have like 0 channels unless you pay for something. So downloading movies onto your phone or your tablet or your laptop is really helpful. So then that way you have that as an option. We found out the hard way when we wanted to watch a movie and we couldn't find anything available. And I don't know if that's just true to the one that we went to for a Polycon, or if it's all Gaylord hotels. As a general precaution, I like to have stuff already downloaded just in case the Wi-Fi is really slow, so that way it's not glitching or skipping or you're having to wait for it to refresh. And I think that's it, unless I come up with something else later. Those are just some of the things that I wish that I had known going into the event. And I did have someone give me a list, an influencer who was super sweet, and then I just added stuff to it after the fact, after having gone to my first event. And so I just wanted to pass along that information to you if you are someone who likes to plan and have anxiety when you have no idea what it even looks like. So I hope that this has been helpful for you, and thank you for watching my video.